FSD is misunderstood, overlooked, and a lot of the analysts are getting it awfully wrong. They think that anyone can enter this space and make just as much money. Well, maybe if they just trim their margins a little, maybe if they get this cost down or that. But I'm here to tell you that it's not going to be something you're going to be able to compete with, and I will show you why with the math. I am joined, of course, by my buddy Herbert, who is making me brighter. He's making you brighter. It's what he does. We're going to look at what it would take to get you in this new Waymo today. If I just make you the right deal, it ain't going to happen. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So Herbert, you've looked at the numbers. You've crunched them. What about the cost of acquisition? You know, there's that Bloomberg report that came out. Whatever a cybercab costs, what is the real cost of it compared to a Waymo?
Well, Bloomberg, they reported that its cybercabs are 1/7 the cost of a Waymo. I've seen the numbers for Waymo cars anywhere from $150,000 to $220,000 per car. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's ridiculous how much money it takes. And it makes sense, right? I think you even calculated this before, right? There's the cost of the Jaguar I-Pace or the Zeekr. Mm-hmm. Then they have to, the Zeekr, they would have to import it into the United States, which I don't even know if they're going to be able to do that. But the I-Pace is built here. Then they have to send it to a partner, Magna, and Magna needs to upfit it. They need to include LiDAR and all these, I think there's like 12 sensors. This is now the Waymo 6th generation where they reduce the number of sensors, but we're still talking 12 sensors added to it. And then they have to have the NVIDIA chip that they need to put in there. And so that costs them money to have Magna, a third party, NVIDIA, a third party, I-Pace, a third party, to update it all to get this car up and running. So that's why it makes sense, or it doesn't make sense, that they've been around for 12 years and they only have 1,500 cars out there. And that's a bit of a shock.
Anyhow you slice it, if you have to send the car somewhere else, because like you said, the I-Pace is manufactured by Magna, but in Switzerland, shipped over to Magna in Arizona, add a bunch of stuff. There is no world in which it costs less or even close to the same. And getting a Zeekr, it's Chinese. It's going to be cheap. No. The Zeekr Mix is an expensive van. It's like a $60,000 van, and then you pay the 100% import tariff. What are you doing? Even if it had all the sensors included from the factory, you're still at 5, 6 times, 7 times the cost of a cybercab. Okay. But what if, let's ignore that. That. Let's say Waymo, am willing to subsidize it, and I will somehow sell you, the operator, that car or let's say I put it in a new division. I've got Waymo and then I've got Waymo Ride. And Waymo Ride, I'm going to sell it to that division for just $25,000. Now you've got two cars that both cost $25,000. So what I'm saying, Herbert, is if I get you the right price, can I get you into this Waymo today? So it's $25,000. Let's say they're both the same cost of acquisition. Which one's actually cheaper? How much does it cost to clean a Waymo versus clean a cybercab?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because I'm trying to understand. I think that Waymo has a partnership. I just saw it just a few days ago. I can't remember the name of the company. Do you know?
No.
It's going to come to me soon. But they have a partnership with another company that does all the cleaning. So it's yet another
finger in the pie.
In the pie that does all the cleaning of these and the operations of them. So it's yet another thing. I mean, it's like, boy, where does this cost come from? And that cleaning is not going to be automated like Tesla's planning to do. And the cars are not designed for robotaxi, right? These are take an existing car, put it into the service, and now it's going to have crevices. It's going to have, the seats and whatever it is, and they have to clean it. It's a lot harder to do that than if you had, thought about it from day one.
Cleaning a cybercab is one step more difficult than cleaning a roller coaster. There's nothing there. It's very easy and straightforward.
Yeah.
You could almost hose it down, not quite, but close, close.
Yeah.
And how much are you going to pay over the life of the Waymo you just bought to have someone plug it in every day?
That's the other thing that that we have to understand is where does Waymo take their cars? So first of all, they're small geography, so it's not a big deal for them. Where do they sleep at night?
Mm-hmm.
you know, but as they try to expand, and we're talking scale, okay, so it's one thing to be able to do a well-defined geography, but what happens when they want to scale? Let's say that you have multiple cities. You have Houston, Austin, San Antonio. What do you do? Where do they sleep at night? Now, Tesla already has existing service centers all over. They have sales centers all over. So for them, they could go park, and then they have their superchargers network all over. So they have so many choices of where they want to go and get plugged in, or get cleaned, or to get serviced. But I don't know what Waymo's going to do. Are they going to have to now build these things? Or are they going to partner with another company, yet another finger in the pie? Now, how many fingers do we have here now?
Quite a few. So when it comes to charging, a Cybercab will charge itself, where a Waymo will go somewhere and say, "Can somebody plug me in, please? I'm very thirsty. The sun's getting real low there, cowboy." So I don't know. I mean, but now let's talk about cost per mile. What vehicle is going to get anywhere close to the cost per mile for the juice that a Cybercab will? Could an iPace?
Yeah, this is the thing that's shocking to me. Is like we just saw the data point from an independent research firm called OB. They looked at hundreds of thousands of data points, and they compared the cost of a Uber, cost of a Lyft, and the cost of Waymo in San Francisco. And what was shocking was that for rides that are less than a mile, first of all, across the board, no matter what, Waymo charges more. So step one, that's a shocker, because apparently without a driver, you're supposed to be able to charge less. That's the whole point. But they've never charged lower than Uber and Lyft, which is, as we know, expensive, because you have to pay the cost of the driver. The driver needs to get something, and then you need to share that with Uber. Uber gets something. Now, Uber does not have to pay for the cost of the car. That's good, but overall, it's very expensive. So the cost of 1 mile is $40 for Waymo and $35 for Lyft or Uber. And the cost for 5 miles and under, we're talking still at the $5 to $6 per mile, nowhere near the $2 per mile that we keep hearing about. So this is the cost of existing ride hail. Tesla comes in and says, okay, we are designed for robotaxi. You can use any Tesla Model Ys or any Teslas for that matter, put it into the system. We have the Cybercabs. Once those go into production, these will be, as you know very well, you're the Cybercab guru out there. They're going to be $15,000, $20,000 cars, really, really affordable to build. So the cost for a mile, the whole point is Elon's talking $2 per mile or less. So they have the best chance to get there.
You said something interesting earlier. You said iPace or Zeekr or whoever it may be wants their cut. Magna wants their cut. Uber wants their cut. But what we didn't cover is Electrify America wants their cut.
Yeah.
So now
Charging.
that's one more finger in the pie. Even if you could get the efficiency to equal that of a Cybercab, Cybercabs are going to be juicing up at the wholesale cost that Tesla pays for charging, not even the retail cost that Tesla pays for charging. You and I might pay the retail cost, but for ones in-house, they'll be paying 5 to 10 cents per kilowatt hour, where Waymo will be paying 50 cents to $1 plus the guy who has to plug it in, which is incredibly insane. It was about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I read a story about Chinese version of a 737. They're cheaper. Why aren't they the best-selling plane in the world? Because once you factor in the fuel inefficiencies, the fuel cost, they're not cheaper. And lifetime cost matters. So, Herbert, I got you a $25,000 Waymo versus a $25,000 Cybercab, but you're going to be paying more for electricity forever.
Forever. Yeah.
forever. So, and your maintenance
And
is going to cost more forever. Your service will
service,
be
by the
more
way,
forever.
these are eyepaces. So they have lots of stuff in them.
Yeah.
You know,
So
they're
right
going to
there,
be,
now I've got to say, well, okay, if I want Herbert to buy this Waymo from me, I need to be at 20,000, maybe 15, because you're going to lose money over the life of it, right? But here's the other thing, Checker Cab. Checker Cab made cars that were designed to go 500,000 to 900,000 miles. And even though the design looked like it was from the 50s, because it was from the 50s, they kept making them until 1988 or 92 in that original design because the darn things were bulletproof. The only reason they finally died out was because the gas prices were not appropriate. That's what killed them. But if Tesla plans to keep these cybercabs in-house, they're not going to be designed to go 100, 150,000 miles like a Jaguar. They're going to be designed to go at least twice that, at least 250, but probably more beyond that. Tough to say. They haven't been built yet. We haven't seen one or a teardown. We can't. But they're going to be designed for longevity. So let's say I give you that Waymo. The price is not 25. The price is not 20. It's not even 15, but it's, free just so that the fuel cost is equal, but at 100,000 miles, it dies. You got to replace it.
that's so the argument that people made about, oh, does it matter if if Waymo has to spend $125,000 for a car and Tesla doesn't? Tesla only pays 30,000, or in fact, the research said 1/7 the price. So it doesn't matter. Some people said it doesn't matter because it's amortized, and so it's over many years. But the reality is that, have you ever been to a rental car that's been there for 10 years? No, all rental cars are 2 years old because they're used to the max. They get damaged. They got to be replaced quickly. They don't have a lifespan of 2 to 5 years, and they're done. So if it costs you $200,000 for a car, $125,000 per car, you got to replace that every 2 years. What do you do?
I will give you a little diversion here on the reason they turn over cars as quickly as they do is they get a very low fleet price, drive the heck out of them for 2 years.
And try to get some money out of it. Yeah,
well, and then
resell.
they sell it at Kelley Blue Book, which is in some cases what they paid at the fleet level 2 years earlier. It's a free car for them. So,
gotcha.
But
So maybe
you're
they'll
right.
keep these ones for a long time, but still high
My
usage.
Nissan had been a rental car. My Nissan Quest, and the motor mounts were broken on it because people were driving this thing like it was stolen. But yeah, people don't treat public vehicles the way they treat their own vehicles. That's for sure. So if it's
The other one is insurance. We have to talk about insurance, the cost of insurance. So the whole, we'll see, but the whole premise is always the technology, which is the more advanced technology, right? Tesla's robotaxi full self-driving, or Waymo's LiDAR-based thing that doesn't have this as much of intelligence. Which one has the more chance to get into an accident? Which is going to have the higher insurance? And then in some states, Tesla actually has their own insurance. Otherwise, guess what? Yet another finger in the pie for Waymo. They have to pay insurance that's not their own.
And because these vehicles are so complicated, the Waymos, they're as complicated as a Jaguar, not famous for their reliability, plus all the other sensors and add-ons, which reduce reliability while adding more parts.
Yeah.
But if it's under warranty, who cares? I do. The operator cares because the operator loses time. Time is money. If that thing is gone for a week or a month, what do? You lose money for that time.
Whereas
that is
Tesla,
money you will never
you know
get
what
back.
happened with those cars in LA when there was a riot, and was it 6 Waymos were burned?
Something like that, 5 or 6, yeah.
Is it 3, 5, 6?
3?
They were burned. What happens to them? Well, they're gone. Now you have to get 6 more at the 600,000. No, you'll get paid and all that. But Tesla, happens to them, the next morning they just swap it with another Model Y, another Model 3, just a regular car. They just grab a regular car that's already out there, and it goes, okay, you're the robotaxi today.
And the real tragedy on those Waymos is they can't replace them. The iPace has left production. I think Waymo purchased the last off
That's
the
it.
line of
Yeah.
it. So those are simply going forever. But yes, all those things that can break, some of them will. You will lose time. Time is money. I just don't understand the business case for something this complicated. Now, another thing that you and I have talked about, other people don't seem to understand, is well, the total addressable market. How big could it be? Let's say they captured 100% of today's ride share, then that's not enough.
Yeah, ARC research says that today the 100% the rideshare market is I think $180 million.
Billion or million?
A billion, 180
Billion.
billion. But they believe, and you look at their table, that once you get to lower cost, let's say $2 a mile or $1 a mile, 25 cents a mile, as you do that, it skyrockets. The TAM grows to 1 trillion and then 2 trillion and then 5 to 20 trillion. Because the kind of market who you're selling to, who's going to end up choosing to do a ride hail changes. And eventually it becomes the transportation of choice for all transportation.
I know people who drive less than 300 miles a month. My cousin is one. And I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, Anthony, who just got his insurance renewal, and it's something like $225 a month is what he's paying for insurance. He has no tickets, he has no accidents. And I said, if it was $1 a mile, you could go 225 miles for less than what you're paying for insurance. And there are people for whom it just would not make any sense to own a car ever again. The market can get big. Guys, in the comments, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Leave it. I'll let comments be optional, but don't make me regret it. Everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots in the comments over on Herbert's channel.